Okay, so this is week 7 for me post Achilles surgery, and yesterday was actually my first day of physical therapy. Long story short, my doctor went on vacation, so he didn't release me to physical therapy, and I wanted to kind of do things by the book, so I didn't start until he came back. So I got a late start on physical therapy in terms of the timeline for this whole thing. But yesterday I went through kind of an assessment-ish type thing where they were doing some strength tests on my ankle and foot and whatnot. Where they would push against the top of my foot and tell me to not let them push, to kind of resist that movement. Same thing on the bottom. Obviously, when they're pushing this way, it's a little, they're doing it with a lot less pressure than when they were pushing this way, because if you push this way and this is your foot, it's really the tibialis that's producing force, and not that backside and the gastroc and the soleus. So this way they can pull, and it's all on the front of the leg. When this way, that's all on the back of the leg. So they didn't really have to do anything to challenge me on that side. Internal and external rotation, like eversion and why am I forgetting? Anyway, so they did all those tests, kind of measured my ankle, and we did a gait pattern on one foot in front of the other and then the other foot in front of the other. And when my injured leg was on the back side, that was obviously when I had some problems, because I had to go onto my toes on the back. On the back leg, you have to go onto your toes when you walk, because you walk and you push off your toes. So you basically walk heel toe, and so then your toes are the last thing that touch the ground. When my injured foot was on the backside, I had a lot of problems, and so what she saw was that I wouldn't push off on my big toe, and so then she was kind of like manipulating that, and so she pulled it back, and I was like, what'd you do there? She's like, where'd you feel that? And I said, well, right underneath my big toe, and then all the way through to the back of my leg, just a little bit. And that is an issue. So your big toe should bend backwards 90 degrees relative to your foot. So it should be able to go mobile backwards that way with not a huge problem. If this was my foot, my big toe was like that, not like that. And so that was an issue. And so she's like, we got to work on that big toe mobility, because eventually you're going to be pushing off of that. And if that doesn't get back that far, you can't really push off of it. So walking is going to be a problem for you. So we really have to be aggressive with that. And so so far, my physical therapist is impressing the hell out of me. So this is a shout out to Dr. Chelsea Kaler, however you say that last name. Where I'm from, it's Kaler. Where she's from, it might be Kohler. So anyway, and that's at physical, Phyzical. Anyway, she kind of assessed that, I need to work on some big toe mobility, because what that does, if it doesn't go, if it's too tight, then it's going to pull on the plantar fascia, which is going to pull on that heel bone, which will pull down the Achilles. So when you try to stretch it, it doesn't work. So you could say maybe that could be a contributing cause of why I tore my Achilles. So these things are not just isolated to your Achilles and your calf, right? So your Achilles is attached to your heel is attached to your plantar fascia. If that plantar fascia is tight, if the big toe is tight, it doesn't want to go this way, it's going to pull the plantar fascia up. That's going to pull the heel this way, which is going to further tighten your Achilles. So you have to pay attention to these things. So I'm kind of working out, like last night when I got home, I'm working out the big toe, and I'm moving it and manipulating it and rubbing underneath it and rubbing the big toe, so I can get more mobility in there. So when that happens, it doesn't pull as hard on those things. The other thing, so that's one of the drills that I have to do every night, is that gait pattern, and then also massage the crap out of my big toe, and then the underlying tissues underneath the toe. And then, so the gait pattern, I have to do some ankle circles now, and I have to do, I have to go barefoot as much as I can. I have to go barefoot as much as I can in the, in my house, which is going to be interesting and scary at the same time, because I've got my 2 big old dogs, and they are, they like to jump, and they like to get on top of you. And so that's going to be interesting and scary at the same time. She was kind of assuring me that only dumb things that I do are probably going to would re-rupture the Achilles. So she's like, you know, it's going to be somewhat difficult for you to do it now, unless you do things that you shouldn't be doing, like squatting with weight and, you know, these sort of things. If you do what's protocol, you know, and she's like, you can bike very lightly. You can, also with the boot on, you can go hard, right? And so I'm at that point where, oh, I can, you know, put the boot on, go on the Airdyne and go. But she's like, as much as you can, be out of the boot. So start to transition to fully out of the boot. And she's like, as much as you can take, and it's like kind of gauge it day by day. How much can you take, and then try to increase it each day. So anyway, that was the extent of the physical therapy session. We are going to be going 3 times a week to physical therapy. And I'm really happy with that as well, because a lot of times, like, they leave you to your own devices. These guys are gonna like push me through it, and I don't know. I'm just excited about the work ahead, because it's actually something rather than me just sitting around waiting for the last like 2 months of doing nothing. So anyway, that's the update. Just kind of when you come out of the boot, even when I walk in the boot a lot, there is like, my foot gets really angry at me. When I walk in the boot a lot. So coming out of the boot, I'm gonna expect even a little bit more pain and irritation, and that feeling that my foot's gonna blow up. It's just gonna be a crappy week ahead, and I'm traveling, so that's also gonna be interesting. And I'm supposed to be out of my boot as much as possible, but I'm traveling to a convention, and there's a lot of walking, so I'm definitely going to take my scooter, which is fine. You know, I was hoping to be out of my boot by the time this convention came up, and that just isn't the case. So it's fine. I can scoot faster than I can walk, so it's a blessing. Anyway, that's it. That's the update. The more I get into physical therapy, the more I'll kind of show what we're doing. I'm in the car. I just wanted to give an update. So I will show some exercises the next video.